Hey everyone, this is Real Estate Riches Podcast, and boy, is it going to be rich, full of the wealth and the tips and the tricks of all kinds of successful agents, because that's what you want to be, right? A business builder who has success in their business. Well, that's what we got going on here. And I'm going to have all kinds of agents, men, women, young or older, sharing all their stuff because there's technology, there's just how do you build your business? There's so many questions, right? So let's learn from some of the best. Gather your wealth and build your business. That's what this channel is all about. And I'm excited to bring it to you. I'm Kathy Byrnes and I'll be your host. And stay tuned. Let's get at it, right? So welcome everybody. I am here with Mike Cuervo. Mike's going to be every realtor's savior because what he does is help realtors not be forgotten by their clients with systems. So Mike, you want to tell us a little bit about you first, your company, and because you're not a realtor, you assist realtors. Is that right?
I've been a realtor for 20 plus years. I stopped practicing though 6 years ago. We're actually in the weeds and showing houses and whatnot. So I left, matter of fact, I left Chicago on purpose so I didn't have to sell real estate anymore. Then I moved to San Diego. And that's when I started my marketing company, et cetera. A podcast, real estate marketing, due to a couple other things. But yeah, no, I've been in the weeds with agents, and I learned early on where business really comes from. And it's not from leads. It's not from your website. It's not from door knocking. It's not from the mailers. It's not from Zillow. It comes from the relationships you have in life. And until you know how to actually nurture those relationships and, more importantly, transform them into your sales force, it's always a business of peaks and valleys.
It is. Boy, I couldn't agree with this more. I started in 2006 and it is a peak and valley business, but you don't have to have your business be peaks and valleys because if you're consistent with something, you can level it all out. And by the fact that you were, like you said, in the weeds, which that's exactly what it feels like, you understand it. You understand what an agent is looking for, and you probably tried all those things anyway. Would you say that?
Yeah, I've tried everything, literally everything. I never viewed a real estate agent's job as to sell houses. You have to be a marketer first to be a good real estate agent, because until you could sell yourself, there's no house to sell.
Right.
Like the reality of it is, at the end of the day, like, everybody has a database or a network. Even people who move to new markets, you still have to build one, right? Because you're always going to be playing the chasing game and the prospecting game. And I know why a lot of people fail out in the business, and the cliche signs like, it's 87% of new agents fail businesses. You hear everyone from Tom Ferry to Buffini say that. And people say that all the time, but no one ever says why, though.
Right.
Why do they fail the business? Well, most times it's because the gurus are telling them to do stuff that they don't do and or want to do. Like, most of us aren't cut out to cold call people. I'm not. And a lot of agents you don't have the skill set. I'm not saying that. If you can do that, you can make a lot of money cold calling. But I'm just talking about the average person just won't have the goals to go out and actually go through it and last a long time doing that, right? Same with door knocking. Buying leads is scary. There's a number of ways to find business in real estate, but the one thing that's been recession proof, that's been tested time and true again, has always been the database. It hasn't changed in the last 20 years since I've been doing this, right? And I don't think it'll ever change, is because people want to do business. Like, this is a big transaction. You don't like cut corners. If you're looking at an investment, and you don't do that with a stranger, you do that with someone you know, like, and trust.
Yeah. And it's honestly, if you got somebody to know, like, and trust you once, why would you ever let them go? Because the truth is, if they like you, they're going to share it with their friends and their family, and you're going to get more. I've got one I've done 12 transactions with, and it all started out from one deal. I never let them go. I did whatever they needed to stay connected. And
But
I'm kind of known as I got a guy. So I have a monthly thing that goes out with somebody that I'm featuring because I want to stay top of mind. And I don't give them everybody. I just say, call me. And that's worked for me. But I like this. So tell me more what exactly you're doing.
So 80% of people, buyers, agents, this is NAR stat, 80% of buyers forgot their agent's name in 6 months.
Yeah.
Right. And you're just like, well, how do you build a referral based business if no one remembers who you are? You don't. You can't. It's impossible. The problem that we have, I believe, is just in the content and how we communicate with others, because you're left with two choices, really. We all know we need to stay on top of mind. We know that we need to communicate consistently with our database, but none of us want to do it with commission breath. And what I mean by that is, who wants to send a just listed or just sold postcard to your database? You look like a douche. It's cheesy, right? It doesn't feel comfortable. And nobody also wants to make that same post on social media either. But and the reason why when you post the just listed or the just sold, there's only 3 people who comment on it. It's usually the mortgage broker trying to earn your referrals, the title company that wants you to close up their business, and the real estate recruiter that's trying to get you to join their brokerage. Those are the only people who comment on them, right? So the question's always been communication. How do you communicate with your database effectively? Well, I never changed what I read. The first book I read was Gary Keller's $1 Million Agent. I call it like the Bible of real estate. And the concept of the book, same thing. Buffini teaches it. Michael Maher teaches it. Everyone teaches it. You have to stay on top of mind with your entire sphere of influence, but you need to do it through multiple channels at a time.
Yeah.
And Kathy, if all you and are you married?
Yeah.
Are you boyfriend, spouse, anything, like when you have a relationship? So let's just pretend whoever relationship you are. Okay. So let's say relationship. Now, if you're with your significant other and all you do is talk about work, will your significant other eventually be like, dude, shut up and tune you out?
Yeah.
Well, you can't talk about work with your database either. And that's what people do when they're just constantly self-serving, sending out market reports, just listed, just sold. You're speaking through commission breath.
Yeah.
My whole message is about, you need to go back and brush your teeth and start creating content that reminds people you're in real estate so you don't have to tell them.
Oh, I love this.
Anything that you do within your local community, that's all it needs to do. Now, that's really all we created. There's nothing crazy about this, because the main reason why people, for example, and if you're listening to this, I already know what you're thinking, because I have 15, 20 years of research into this, but the main reason why people don't make a post on social media, and the reason why you hesitate to do that, we all do it. You get on a post, like, oh, should I type this? Let me delete. Let me go type it. Let me go type in this way. Oh, no, I don't like the way. I'm going to feel like this way. Oh, and you spend 20 minutes writing the damn post before you just hit the post. The reality is that no one cares. No one gives a crap.
Right.
And if the post is self-serving, then it does terrible. It doesn't get any engagement. So instead, all you have to do is remind people you're in real estate, and you don't have to tell them. And you could do that so easily in our business.
Yes.
And when you just do that consistently, what happens is that attention's a real thing. If you don't have any attention on your brand, you don't have a business today. Right. So all attention on someone's brand is the number of people, when they hear the word real estate, instantly associate your name with it. So for your listeners, I want you guys to go ahead and here's an example. If you were to go right now on social media and get your realtor shoes off, you're not a realtor, and just say, hey, who knows an agent that I can help me buy or sell a house? How many people insert your name into your own friend list determines how big your personal brand really is in real estate.
Boy, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, let's get ourselves out of the business. Let's try this exercise. Go on social media right now and ask for a plumber referral. Here, what's going to happen? You're going to get 40 plumber referrals. First question is, why the hell do all these people have their plumber's name and number on standby where they could post it in their phone on social media? That's weird. It's because they have a family member, a friend that they're referring over, right?
Oh.
Number 2 is, if you think that people are going to refer their damn plumber or electrician or handyman, are you telling me that they're not going to refer a real estate agent?
Right, man, love this.
So what it ends up coming down to is that, what I really ended up figuring out is that people actually want to refer people things. And you have to understand this is the way that God made us. So I started reading, doing all this other crap. And here's what it came down to. There's this, I forget who I got this from, but somebody's not mine, just facts. This is content you can look up. When someone makes a referral to somebody, they only do it for for 2 reasons. Regardless of what we're doing, whether it's a real estate referral, whether it's a restaurant referral, whether it's a vacation referral, a thing to do referral, a kid referral, whatever it is, anytime anyone gives a referral, they're doing it for 2 reasons. 1, they want to help someone.
Okay.
And 2, they want to help the person they're referring to.
Yes, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
That's it.
So, but you have to be top of mind for that referral to happen. Yeah. Otherwise, you're out of mind, out of sight, out of conversation.
Absolutely.
So that's a simplicity of what I call referral marketing or relationship marketing. It's that you have to create content, stay in front of the content, and your content is just a thing to nurture people. It doesn't ask for business, it asks for attention, and its only job is to say, don't forget I exist.
Yeah. So how are you doing that with, let's say, you've got direct mail, email, and social media. How would you be
Sure.
doing that with direct mail?
So with direct mail, I recommend one direct mail piece a month to your Rolodex of relationships. A lot of people are going to say, oh, Mike, well, I don't have enough people to send direct mail to. And I'll say, hey, let me see your wedding list. It's crazy how everyone all of a sudden finds 300 people to invite to their damn wedding. But when it comes to business, you can't even think about 10 people to put on that list.
Huh.
And here's why the wedding list is the most profitable list that you'll ever own. And I'll give you a true story about my wedding list and what happened. The wedding list is the most profitable list that you'll ever own because if someone you're inviting to your wedding, they're definitely going to refer you business. And 100% of the people you know this year have a referral for you, while 10 to 15% of the people are going to be moving themselves. So everything I'm explaining is just mathematical. This isn't based upon theory of will it work or might it work. It's based upon numbers because people move. Now, when you break down relationships, here's what happened in my own wedding scenario. And I'm a perfect example. Someone who's before I left Chicago, got married in this is 2011. So at that time I was practicing for about 13 years. All right. And when I was practicing and I got married, what do you do when you get married? You have a wedding, right? So what did we do to have the wedding? Well, first is you send people a big, expensive direct mail invitation.
Yeah.
Now, my wife's side of the family, I'm Mexican, all right? What do you think Mexicans do on Sundays?
I don't know. Go to church?
We eat. Yeah, we go to church, we eat, and we drink cerveza and eat tacos with the family. Every Sunday is a big family thing. That's just what we do. Now, this meant that I've seen my wife's side of the family. We're talking about the cousins, the primos, the primas, the abuelas, everybody. I see them every Sunday. They don't know me as Mike, real estate agent. They know me as Mike, Allie's husband. It wasn't until we got the direct mail list of all their wife's side of the family. We invited 252 people to the wedding. 110 or so of them were her side of the family. Took all of them. If they're good enough to come to my wedding, they're good enough to send me referrals, right? Put them on my direct mail list. Started sending them out postcard a month. Took all of them. We also created an email invite as a Facebook event. Mike and Allie's Cabo wedding, right? What do you need for email invite? You need email addresses to invite them to the group. Took all of those emails, put them on my monthly video email newsletter. And then I made sure I friend people on social media, and they slowly but surely start seeing and receiving my content. Within 6 months, I made back, I think it was $32,000 or $36,000, I forget, in commissions that resulted from referrals and direct business from that side of the family. Yeah. The only thing I did was just activate them. Wow. That's it.
Wow.
People cannot refer you business when you're unreferable. And the biggest referral sources that you'll ever have in this business are the people closest to you. It's your family members, it's your friends, it's your mom, it's your aunts, it's your uncles. But when you're unreferable to them, you're unreferable to the public. Wow. I always looked at my closest relationships as my sales force, not the other way around. But if I went to them begging for business, I would never communicate that they can refer it to me. Instead, I started creating content to remind them, because whether or not you want to admit this, someone is going to get the referral. It's either you or it's them.
Right. That's just logical. So
now here's the last piece of this, because this is where everyone says, if people say, well, I don't want to get on video. I don't want to create content. I'm not going to send people direct mail, and I'm not going to send them a video email because I'm going to start annoying people. That's what you're going to hear. So I'm going to combat that right now. Look, if you believe you're the best real estate agent for the job, which if you don't say yes, get out of the business.
Right.
It becomes your obligation to let the world know about it, including your own SOI. Boy, if not, you're shady, you're self-serving, and you're a jerk. Or you're not the right person for the job. Which one is it? Can't be both.
Well, let me ask you this. I got a couple of questions. One was in that direct mail. So now you've had the wedding. You don't just send out a postcard that says, hey, I'm a realtor, do you? What do you do?
No, I send out holiday greetings. I send out neighborhood news. We have a postcard campaign in our system that uses AI. So like if you're a dog person, January can be dog-friendly parks. Or February can be dog-friendly restaurants. Okay. So you could customize them. They could be recipes. The content of the postcard It
It's
doesn't
not
matter.
important.
It
That's
doesn't matter. What matters is they pick up the postcard and they throw it in the trash and they physically engage with your face. Because regardless of what's on the postcard, it'll tell people you're in real estate. That's why the content of it should be more entertaining. I have a campaign that I used to run called The Smartest Agent Ever, which is nothing more about fun facts on real estate. They were cute, they were quirky. It was like the Guinness Book of Fun Facts of Real Estate, and it's toilet humor. My only goal with my direct mail is to do nothing more than to give someone a chuckle, someone say, "Oh, that was cute," or that's it. I'm not looking for a lead. I'm not looking for business. I'm not looking for reciprocation. I'm looking to generate attention.
wow.
And I know that if I hit 150 people that I know each and every year, once a month with direct mail, all 150 of them are going to get it.
Wow.
But at the same time, I know that of those 150, 10 to 15% of them are moving this year, but 100% of them have a referral for me. So would I invest $12 into every relationship with direct mail? Yeah. If I didn't, I'm a terrible business person.
Boy, you know what? I always mocked that stuff and never saw the big picture. I'm like, why do they waste their money? This is what I have in my own head. Why do they waste their own money? Now, I'll recognize that same person doing it. Here's another point though. Some don't do it consistently. Don't you believe that's a big factor here? It needs to be consistent.
Yeah, same concept. Like all of this stuff happens with consistently. So
Yeah,
if you're going to do direct mail, you're doing direct mail for the rest of your life, or
right.
at least you're as your career is. If you're going to start building a brand and your email list, like you're going to create your email list for life. Every month, you're going to send out an email to that list because you have to nurture it. And on social, you have to keep creating content on social media. I don't know if you've seen this, but I have not seen one person yet that I have seen unsuccessful that is alone, that is consistent on social just alone.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know, anyone who's like out there you see on videos that isn't crushing it?
Right.
I can't point one. I can't point one out. Like I see one dude's rapping on videos. I love it. Like that's his thing. Great.
Yeah.
Rap all you want, bro. Rap to the ceiling, rap to the sky. Love it. You
It's
see
unique.
another person, just like a killer mom. She's the mom realtor. Another person's a dog realtor. Who cares? As long as you're consistent, it's attention. And whoever has the most of it is the one who does the most deals because it's a popularity contest.
Yeah, I think that's so critical. Now, you also mentioned video emails. Are you using BombBomb?
No, we have our own video email system in our software. So
Okay.
we use that. But I was one of BombBomb's earliest subscribers when it was $19 a month.
Yeah.
And it was back in 12, I think, when they came out, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But what I learned about video email is that you just get way more open rates. Like we get a 40% open rate. The national average is 13. So I don't care what video email system you use, but I only use it to nurture my database, one video email a month.
One
And to
video.
nurture one at once. That's
Oh,
my
one a
touch
month.
system. One a month, and then you'll do a couple. It's 18 a year is my frequency, but one a month, and then every quarter you'll throw in a market update,
Now, what makes you do that
client
less
parties.
than the cards? Is it the cost of doing it or the time?
Less than what?
Is it less like your postcards are every month, right?
Yeah, postcards I do once a month. Direct mail I do once a month. Touches. Video
And
email I do once a month. It averages 1.5 times a month because I like 18 touches a year.
oh, in my mind, I don't know why I saw it as less. It's not less. It's actually more. But do you think that people feel bombarded if you did it more of the emails?
There's no need to, yeah, because you're just nurturing. You're just saying, hey, what's up, dude? Remember, we're not looking for leads. We're looking for attention, and that's the difference. There's marketing and there's advertising. They're not the same.
Right.
Every brand needs marketing. Marketing is what keeps you present, top of mind. Advertising is what generates leads.
Yes. All right, I really love that. And then the social media, what kind of content are you saying you need to be doing? Now,
Social, minimum of 10 posts a month. I recommend 10 to 15. The way we have it set up in our systems, we give you over 20 pieces of content that you could personalize. But there's three main pieces of content you're going to create on social. One is going to be pictures of yourself, photos. Those perform the best. The second one is going to be images, things that you can use like Canva for. We just got done with Memorial Day. So people would post a Memorial Day image. We had a piece of content that said, before you post Happy Memorial Day, here's what you need to know, was my content. You're not supposed to post Happy Memorial Day. It's not nice to say that. If you know why, then you could go look it up. But then short form videos where it's at right now.
Yeah.
You have to be on video. So we give people over 8 video scripts a month that are just short form that they could use to recreate themselves. They put it on their reels. And video is the human builder. And short form video right now is just where it's at. They're not showing long form. Short form is just where the eyeballs are at. So that's what I recommend you create.
So that's interesting that you say that. So I heard recently that TikTok was looking for long form. So I told the source that works with me for my YouTube videos, I said, just put the whole video on there. You don't need to do the short form. So it's getting like 300, 400 hits, nothing outstanding, but it was more than some of my other posts. So I go in there,
TikTok, that could be true. Yeah, I'm not
but it's
on.
not. Here's what I look at the analytics. 1 second, 1 second.
That's all they listen to.
That's all
Was it I would look at it being how it's formatted. It's usually the horizontal versus vertical. I'll see a drop off,
it
but
was.
it was
So
formatted right. So yeah,
yeah, so I was like, wow. So it's just people just flipping through. That's all it is. And so I happen to be either in their For You fade thing or they're following me, but they're just flipping. So there goes the second. So I'm just part
makes
of what
sense.
many. There was no value. I'm not taking them out because I'm still there. Who knows? Somebody may go search me and find me, but
Yeah, you're building. I mean, and that's the other thing too, is that like when people get, I see people get, I remember like it was 3, 4 years ago, every video we'd post would get 1,500 views, like just long form, short form. It didn't matter.
yeah,
Everyone's organic reach has dropped off. It's
yes,
everybody, including the gurus, the influencers. But it doesn't mean you stop creating, because what you're also doing is you're creating a resume.
yes.
What people fail to realize is that people today aren't going to your website first. They go to your social media profile and your handle, right? And then that's almost like your prereq. That's like your filter to see if they're going to then go to your website.
Right.
So the more content you have on there and the more human you are, the better, because that sort of validates that you know what you're doing. Whether or not you know what you're talking about doesn't matter. Perception is everything. And how you position your brand will tell everything.
Yeah,
80% of the videos on social have no sounds. But if you went on my page and you see me talking, you're like, oh shit, Mike just knows what he's doing without even hearing a word I said. You would
right,
just assume that, right? That's
right.
power. That's branding. That's positioning.
Yes.
So, yeah, people overthink this and don't look at the big picture and look down at their business as a business and say, how do people really make their decisions? And I will tell you guys, the videos that you don't think will ever do anything are the ones that will. And the ones that you put all the time and energy into are the ones that aren't going to get any views.
Yeah.
So you got to just not care and keep on going. There's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days, but don't be the hare, be the tortoise, because that's who won the race.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So now you've been doing this for what, 6 years? You created a system and you probably keep improving it. And you've got a couple different programs. This is for realtors to do what we're talking about, because a lot of the realtors, they're like, well, I'll never be able to figure that out. I need help. You're the guy, right?
Well, I hope so. We just launched the referral suite side of it. We had our other side of the software as a transaction management for real estate brokerages and has all these tools and stuff for agents. But yeah, I hope so. That's the thing, is like I've had brokerages. I've owned 4 brokerages. I've ran multiple teams and I've seen all different types of personalities. And there's only one thing that every single agent can do. I had one agent that was really good at closing deals on the phone. And I had another agent that was really good at just working their database. But there's only one thing that everyone could do that I, as a team leader or broker owner, could never infiltrate on behalf of my agents. And I knew that early on. So I would take my agents and say, look, guys, if I want to increase production, let me build their personal brand for them.
Hmm.
Because I can't market anyone else's database as effectively as they can, because I don't have the personal relationship with them.
Of course.
What I can do as a team leader is empower all of my agents to do the same. Right. And give my agents a tool to build their own brand. And through them, they will extract the business out of their database. Right. So that's always been my philosophy. It doesn't, it's less expensive. It's everyone wins and just makes a lot more sense.
Well,
So
how it's also less expensive is if I gotta go to figure out all that you're already doing, assuming that you're successful and you're having great followings of people doing this, which I'm sure you are, then if I have to figure this out, I'm gonna waste so much time because it's not my talent, not my skill, total waste. You give me a system, which is what every realtor needs on every aspect of their business, is systems. So you come in and you've got the marketing system. I'm sure you've got a platform of where you're asking me different things so you'll know how to give me something. And we now just get it out there. It can't help. but just make my business grow. I see it.
Yeah, you just have to be willing to do it. And here's the
Yeah.
reality: most agents won't. I'll be honest with everyone. Look, this business isn't hard, but you need to build your own brand. Your broker's not going to do it for you. Now more than ever with the NAR settlement news and et cetera, the bigger and the stronger relationship you have with the people you're working with, honestly, the less they're going to ask you on how much they're going to pay you. I'll just be blunt because they're going to trust you. Like the people that are going to cut your commission are going to be the strangers and the people you've never met, and rightfully so, because you would do it to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, I totally agree. Boy, there's so many nuggets here. I'm really excited that we did this together. So I want to set up agents so that they can have some success. They can check you out, get all the things. I'll get your links from you and we'll make sure that they're in here for that. And we don't need to talk pricing or any of that. I'll let them all figure that out with you. But I think that this really is for the listeners, like you were saying, this is a process that can take the burden off you and yet build your business, and you have to be consistent and actually do it.
Yeah. And look, I'm not saying prospecting is bad or lead generation is bad. Everyone should have something that they're doing actively to try to drum up now business. But what you shouldn't be doing is you should get really good at doing one form of that before you move on to the next. So like you always have to market your database. You advertise your niche is what I say.
Yes.
And everyone has a database. So as long as you market that thing correctly and consistently grow it too, because you got to remember is that once you start like creating content on social media, what's going to happen is you're going to have more conversations. But it's what you do with those conversations makes all that matter. So you use social media as a way to drum up conversations. But during those conversations, what I'm really doing is I'm building my email list with them.
Yes.
I'm building my direct mail list with them because I'm building a footprint or a baseline that have a large audience of people that know who I am. And the key is that you don't ever need thousands of this is the good news, guys. You don't need thousands of people to know who you are or to do this. You do real estate. You make a lot of money per house you sell, even if they do cut our commissions in half, who gives a shit? At the end of the day, you still make a lot of money considering the amount of time involvement into most transactions.
Yes, I'm with you.
Things will change, but it's okay. You could change with it, you know? So the number one thing though is just to stay in front of the people you know, and then you could go down and niche down in the different prospecting systems. I just got off the phone with a probate attorney. What do you think I was having that conversation for?
Right. Well, and me, I'm a waterfront specialist. That's my niche. That's where I focus in. But I think that's great. Anything else you want to share with us today?
So let's do some examples of content you would create. Waterfront specialist. The water temperature today is blank. That could be one post a month. That's super easy that the waterfront expert should know.
I think I love
Activities on the lake this month are blank. This house, guess how much this lakefront property just listed for? There's your real estate post.
Oh, I love that. Instead of the just sold and the just listed are so boring to me. And like you said, they're meaningless. But every one of those that you just came up with, brilliant. I love it. And I can use ChatGPT to help me come up with
Catch of the month.
Oh,
fantastic. Catch of the month doesn't always have to be a house. It could be a real estate deal too.
Yes. Yeah.
But just right off the bat, because she has a niche and she's not a generalist, it's really easy to dial in what type of content.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And I'm a big believer that you do have a niche. You know, when I first got into the business, I was trying to figure out where's my target market as far as money. What's my net going to be? What's the price point? What do I care about? What's something that's important to me? I like being around the water. And I know the price point's higher. I didn't need to go to the top price point. I went to the one that was the second home market. And that was the one I learned. And because it's a man-made lake here, I learned everything I could about the lake. That are all the rules. So I stood out. And then I looked for I went in the tax records to find out who had this as a second home because their primary address would be at another location. I could just spot it. Now that was tedious. However, I built a list. And that's who I marketed to on a regular basis. But I
built an audience and you got a list of people. You marketed it to them, communicate them consistently. And how long did it take for you? Did it happen overnight?
No, it did not.
It never does.
And that was a great question. How long did it take? It didn't happen overnight, but I was building a reputation, like you said, because I was new to the area. No one knew me, but I was the one out there knocking on doors at expireds, building another reputation. And how I stayed connected was they got a card from me right after that meeting, and then they became part of my drip campaign that I did every month. I stayed in touch, and my business partner did Brian Buffini, and that's what it was. It was building relationships. And so even though you can come in and not know anybody in a territory, it's going to take you a little longer, but you're going to figure it out. But you got to get focused. You got to do it as a business.
Yeah. You ultimately, eventually you have to build a database.
Yes.
You have to build, and you can only build a database with content.
Yes. And you got to put it someplace like a CRM, people.
Yep.
Well, that was great. I appreciate this, Mike, so much. And everybody, if you love this, I'm going to have the links here, how you can get in touch with Mike so you can hire him and check out all the opportunities he can help you build your business. And I appreciate it. Please subscribe below and share it with your friends, buddies. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
So thanks for joining me on this episode of Real Estate Riches. Wasn't that great? I'm sure you got a nugget or two. I know I did. So if you liked it, please subscribe below, share it with everybody, make some comments. We really find that invaluable. And if you're thinking that you would love to talk about this a little bit more, let's schedule a business strategy call. I'll have the link below. And let's see if we can't mastermind together and see if we can empower each other. That would be great. So until next time, signing off. Hope to see you on the next one.